I now have a Patreon if you would like to donate. The link is in the description. Once a month, I will throw all my patrons' names in a hat, and I'll have a drawing, and one lucky winner will receive a prize. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the video.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Gene's Reviews. Reviews from just a regular dude, where I do movie reviews, trailer reactions, I react to YouTube videos, and I review YouTube channels. And I'll do just whatever the hell I want. Today I'm doing another one from the channel Dark Matter, and this is insane courtroom moments after sentencing. I've seen a few of these before. People just absolutely go nuts, and I really don't blame them. I mean, when you're given a life sentence, how are you going to act? Or the death sentence even. That's crazy. But let's put my headphones on, and we'll check this out right now.
In a place with such tragic and twisted cases, it's no surprise that courtrooms are a source for many shocking moments. So from a hitman's testimony to the father who forgave a serial killer, join us. Out of all places, few would expect deaths in a courtroom, especially ones caught on camera. In 2014 though, 25-year-old Torgan Crips gang member, Alli was on trial for racketeering. Shockingly, as an informant was testifying about the Crips operation, Alli suddenly snatched his lawyer's pen and sprinted towards him.
After a years-long effort by the Utah Media Coalition, including KUTV, a judge ruled the public should see this video.
They just shot him.
On trial for racketeering, you see Angelau grabbing what was later identified as a pen and lunging at the witness testifying. Then shots fired by a U.S. Marshal, killing Angelau.
I think there's no question, though, you can turn a pen into a knife or its equivalent.
Yeah.
You can take somebody's life with it.
According to court documents, the witness was shackled and handcuffed.
I think it happens so fast that it's easy if you slow down the video to maybe argue or suggest that there was enough time to do something different. When you watch it live, it's very hard to see that anything different could have occurred.
Tolman says Angelau told the judge he would behave, so he didn't need to be shackled. But Tolman says this video may have the federal court reconsidering its guidelines in these situations.
I'm sure that those measures are being reconsidered by the court as they look at it.
The marshal was cleared of any possible charges.
Okay, now watching it and everything, I don't think they really had to shoot him. But like she said, in the heat of the moment, when it's actually going down, it's kind of hard to react any different. But yeah, the guy was clearly away from him. He missed the guy completely. He never got to him. They could have got around the corner and got a hold of him before he could get any further. But he had that pen, and that could be used as like a knife, so I don't know.
Alli's family argues that deadly force was excessive and that the marshal panicked. Meanwhile, another infamous courtroom death was that of Michael Marin, a former Wall Street trader.
This guy,
in July 2009, after a loss of $900,000 and with debts of $2.3 million, he burnt his mansion down for the insurance. However, police were immediately skeptical, and Marin was arrested for arson. Authorities believe that around the time of his arrest, he secretly stored a cyanide pill. As such, when Marin was later convicted, he discreetly swallowed it.
We, the jury, duly impaneled and sworn in the above entitled action, upon our oaths, do find the defendant, Michael James Marin, guilty of arson of an occupied structure. We further find this offense is a dangerous felony because the offense involved the discharge, use, or threatening exhibition of fire, a deadly weapon, or dangerous instrument. Yes.
Just swallowed it.
Signed by the foreperson. Is this your true verdict? So say you won in all?
And that hits quick, from what I understand. Doesn't take more than a couple minutes. He's already feeling sick, you can tell.
Your Honor, Your Honor, Your Honor. Now.
Now she can fire the suspect's down.
I'm over.
Okay, I've heard it said that the cyanide pills, taking them, it's supposedly it's extremely a horrible way to go. Extremely painful. It makes you so sick. It's just a miserable, miserable way to go. I actually feel bad for the guy, really. I kind of hope he's at peace.
Some of the most shocking moments are also the most heartbreaking. In February 1992, during the trial of notorious serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer, the relatives of his many victims testified to the suffering he had caused their families.
Nuts.
In all, 9 people spoke out against him. However, the most pain was felt by Rita Isbell, sister of Errol Lindsay. Though she initially contained herself, she eventually lost it, attempting to lunge at Dahmer.
My name is Rita Isbell, and I'm the oldest sister of Errol Lindsay. Whatever your name is, say, I'm mad. This is how you act when you are out of control. I don't want to ever see my mother have to go through this again. Never, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, I hate you, motherfucker. I hate you. This is out of control. Don't fuck with me, Jeffrey. I'll kill you. God damn it. Look at me, motherfucker. I can kill you.
What's your name,
I can kill you.
In a later interview, Rita said she was tired of the media describing Dahmer as out of control and wanted to show him what out of control really was. Meanwhile, a similar outburst of hate was also seen in a more recent trial. On June 1st, 2012, Luclace Kendall was working his usual security job at the Miami Lakes strip club. At around 11 PM, as he sat in his car, he saw 29-year-old Kawana Bird and 31-year-old Michael Smithers smoking marijuana in the pickup beside him. According to the pair, Kendall then left his vehicle and walked towards them, demanding they put their hands up whilst he went to inquire with staff. However, as he returned, he suddenly equipped his gun, firing 3 rapid shots into the driver's side, hitting and paralysing Smithers. Then as Kawana attempted to crawl underneath the truck, Kendall fired an extra 8 shots into his body, killing him instantly. Such a case is already tragic, but was made even worse during court. On April 4th, 2014, as the trial focused on Kendall's mental state, Kawana's father, Donald, stood up and argued that he deserved prison, with the pain easily heard within his voice.
Yeah, but my son is dead, man. My son is dead. He needs to go to prison. He don't need to be laying no mental hospital. He need to go to prison, man. Come on, sir. He wanna play crazy. He wasn't crazy when he murdered my son, man. He wasn't crazy then, but he crazy now. All of a sudden he crazy now. You wanna lay in a mental hospital? You done murdered my son, man, for nothing? When he was trying to get away from you. You were trying to get away from you, man. And you kept shooting him while his back was under the truck. You kept shooting him, man. You kept shooting him in his back. His back was turned to you, man. He was trying to get away from you. And you murdered him, man, like that. You murdered him, man, like that. Why you doing it like that, man? And you want to play crazy, man? He ain't crazy. He ain't crazy, man.
Man, that's just, there's just so much pain. You can see the pain all over him going through that. And he's right, you know, he wasn't crazy when he murdered his son. And now he's claiming that he's crazy. Oh, you could just see the pain in that poor man's face. He's lost his son.
Still, this isn't the only shocking testimony from the courtroom. In 2001, Carolina Panthers football player Ray Caruth and hitman Van Brett Watkins were on trial for the murder of Caruth's ex, 8-month pregnant Cherika Adams. According to Watkins, despite annually earning a $650,000 salary, Caruth refused to pay child support, and when Cherika wouldn't have an abortion, he decided to hire a hitman, eventually meeting himself. Though hesitant, he agreed to the job, and for the next 3 months, he collected information on his target's routine. Finally, as the night of the hit approached, Caruth invited Cherika to the cinema. When the film finished, a horror movie no less, Watkins followed their separate vehicles. As they both stopped at a traffic light, the hitman pulled up to Cherika's side and shot her 5 times. Watkins and Caruth then drove off. Somehow, the bloodied Cherika was able to call 911 and was quickly taken into hospital for an emergency cesarean. Fortunately, the baby, named Chancellor, survived, albeit with a brain injury, and continues to live with his grandmother. Sadly though, Cherika entered a coma and died the next month. Concurrent to her death, Caruth and Watkins were arrested. In court, Caruth's lawyer, David Rudolph, dismissed Watkins' hitman story, attempting to prove he was the sole perpetrator. However, he not only refuted this, but threatened Rudolph.
And you've got a gun there that you said he told you to get down in Atlanta, right?
He did.
The purpose of that gun, according to you, is to carry out this shooting, right?
Exactly.
And so you get this call, and you're petrified, and so you go over there because you're so petrified. But you don't bring the gun that you supposedly bought for purposes of this hit, right?
Exactly.
So you're sort of a hitman without a weapon. Is that what you are?
If that's what you want to say.
Well, that's what you were, according to you.
If that's what I could kill you with my hands. Okay.
Is that what you were?
I could kill you with my hands. I don't need a gun.
This is Mr. Watkins again.
Okay, I didn't need a gun. Okay.
That guy's a psychopath.
And so did he say, well, you go on back and you go get that gun, because I don't need to be spending another $200 and having Mr. Kennedy running all around all night looking for a gun when...
I didn't need a gun. Okay, for me to kill somebody, I don't need a gun. Can't you look and see? I'm 286 pounds. Okay, I would rip you like a rag doll. Okay?
Is that what you're going to do to Cherika?
I could have, but I didn't. Okay, I could have killed her, the baby. Okay, that wasn't my beef. I didn't kill my wife with the meat cleaver. I threatened her. Okay, I didn't hit Bridget with the crowbar. I threatened her. I was a dog barking. I didn't do nothing. I ran. How did you think I felt? I'm still human, even though I have a long criminal history. I did it all. But I'm still human.
That could be argued, I think.
Still, not all shocking moments are tragic or violent. In November 2017, Estrella Alexander Relford awaited his sentence for the murder of delivery driver Salahuddin Jitmood. The victim's father suddenly shocked the court. In a stunning moment, the 66-year-old Sambat forgave and hugged his son's killer.
So, if Salahuddin were to be here, alive, because you are one of who planned to kill him, but if he is alive, he would forgive you. That's the way he was, that's the way he is. So I'm taking the teaching of Islam at heart. So his mother has already died, and he's already gone. I'm only here. represent his mom and to represent him. My dear nephew, Trey, I don't blame you for the crime you commit. No, I don't blame you. I'm not angry with you at all. I want you to know that.
Wow.
I wish I can go and hug you right now to comfort you for the crime that you mistakenly.
He's a lot stronger than I would be.
Forgiveness is the greatest gift or charity in Islam.
I wonder what his faith thinks of something like that. You know, somebody who's murdered, what his faith thinks is going to happen to them in Islam. You know, when he passes, is he going to hell, or is he, what's going to happen with him? Wow. Man, that's something else. There's some strong people. I couldn't do that, I don't think.
In a similar case of forgiveness, as the relatives of serial killer Gary Ridgway's victims expressed decades of grief, pain and anger, one Robert Rule was able to forgive him for killing his 16-year-old daughter, Linda. Before this, Ridgway had maintained a blank stare, but when Robert spoke, he seemed to genuinely break down, a rare sign of emotion for a psychopath.
Gary Ridgway sat there stone-faced as victims' relatives damned him and mocked him.
He's an animal. I wish for him to have a long, suffering, cruel death.
He's gonna go to hell, and that's where he belongs.
But then the emotionless facade finally cracked when the father of one of his victims appeared to surprise him with a dose of human kindness.
Mr. Ridgway, there are people here that hate you. I'm not one of them. You've made it difficult to live up to what I believe, and that is what God says to do, and that's to forgive. You are forgiven, sir.
Those tears and the statement he made to the court later that day were as close to showing real remorse as Gary Ridgway had ever come.
I'm sorry for killing these ladies. They had their whole lives ahead of them. I'm sorry for causing so much pain to so many families.
I wonder if he really is sorry. I don't know. It does make me wonder if he really is truly sorry. I mean, if he's not, he's a really good actor. But because he seemed really remorseful to me in that little scene there. Well, that was kind of a Debbie Downer. But anyways, I know. Let's do a joke. How do you make a Kleenex dance? Put a little boogie in it. Thank you, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe, hashtag Mean Gene, all that fun stuff. And I will see you next time.